This is an HR program on demand, a living seed capsule of work life and workplace coming live from a rooftop in Stockholm, Sweden. It's me, Ann-Marie Andrich, and
me, Katarina Berg.
A vodcast, if you like, on HR, straight across the counter. Sponsored by HR The Real Deal, HR by HR for HR. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing fine, actually. Thank you.
So am I.
Yeah.
It's sunny, it's a bit chilly.
Yes.
So, Katarina, I was thinking, you're working quite diligently at Spotify with talent mobility and how you grow your talent. And I know also that, and we had Johanna here a few episodes ago, and she was walking us through the different things that you're doing in that area, in that space. And she was mentioning your internal talent market.
Right.
And that was a few episodes ago, so I would like to follow up on that.
Okay, cool.
What has happened since you launched it? Any learnings, any insights that you would like to share with us?
So the idea of talent marketplace is actually built on our own app, right? So the marketplace has two sides to it. It could actually have more, but you have the artists, the creators on one side, and then you have all the listeners on another side, and then you're trying to have a platform where they can find each other and prosper together, and hopefully thrive and grow from that.
Yeah.
And then we started to think about our own talent. How do we create an internal marketplace and build more or less the same way as the app, because that resonates with everybody, and obviously there is a recognition from that. Both in the sense that if we on one side can have all the bets and the projects and all the opening of jobs, but also mentorship and coaching and whatever that will help you grow on one side. And then on the other side, obviously, all the internal market, or all the internal talent, and what will happen then. And I think as you said, we launched that a year ago. So we just had our first birthday of something that we call Echo, and Let Your Talent Echo. And it's been really...
That's a very cool name, I have to say.
It is a pretty damn cool name, I have to say to you, because that is what it is, right? We don't want to kind of make sure that we lead everybody to the water and then help them drink, because we have said from the get-go, we have highly motivated people. And it's our job not to kill their curiosity and their willing to growth. I think we've been like hammering that we truly believe in an open and a growth mindset too. So how do we do that where it's actually you as an individual that makes sure that you go into Echo, you put your profile there, and then with everything that you wish for, everything that you want to happen with your personal growth will be matched to the things and the opportunities. At the same time, and the background, because that is, as I said, a platform, right? Then there is a lot of other things that we need to do on the leadership and really grow opportunities and change their mindset also with the talents that are actually Spotify.
And more detailed questions. You mentioned that the Spotifyers put their profile into Echo. What does that? What do they actually put in when you say profile? What is it? What kind of details?
I think that is not the unique part. It's more the things that you do every time you kind of look for a job. Or you put down a CV, kind of.
Right.
But it's not as static and it's not as formal. It has to do with who you are and kind of the experience that you have so far, and also what you're looking for. What is your next step? So in one way, you could put it as that you digitally put in whatever you would discuss during a dev talk.
Right.
And then as the connectivity between how often you're there, or how relevant that is, or how updated that is, obviously you will be matched with opportunities that is more and more interesting for you. So I think, when you launch things like this, one of the worries is how many will actually do and take their 15 minutes or 10 minutes to put up their profile, and how many will go back.
Right.
So we saw that it was a majority of our people that went in the first month, and that has been growing. What is really reassuring is that people come and then they come back to to Echo and make sure that their profile is relevant and updated, which makes it easier and easier. And then being data informed and loving data and looking into the data points, we also see that there's a lot of matching going on. Everything from projects to finding your mentor, finding a new job, trying something out, or interiming if somebody's out for parental leave or something like that.
Perfect. And when you put your profile in and you talked about being matched towards the different opportunities, is Echo who is it transparent to? Who sees Echo? Who sees that marketplace?
So it's different levels.
Right.
So everybody sees all the opportunities. And obviously when somebody gets promoted or somebody gets a new role, that is also open and transparent, right? So it's not like it goes into like the Pope election and then you don't know, or you know when everything is done in best case. So that part is transparent. The only thing that is not transparent to everybody is what you put into your profile. That is transparent to the people or the system that actually is trying to match it.
Right.
And that is just, because of there's nothing that is secret there or something that is sensitive, but it's again about third-party integrity, which is important, right?
Right.
Should be able to feel that it's your kind of experience, it's your dreams, maybe even it's what you aspire to be or become, or what your next step is. So that is semi-transparent because obviously we need to see so we can match, and the platform needs to see. But that is the only thing that is not transparent.
Right. Okay. So a year ago you launched it, and you also said earlier that you see that the majority of your Spotifyers are going into talent and updating the profile and wanting to grow and learn and develop. Any learnings from this first year where you see that, okay, this is where we need to tweak or we need to clarify? Or
I think it's about communication, actually. It's not so much about the system per se. It's not about the HR tech per se. You need to work on that all the time because, as always, people are not necessarily acting the way that the system or the platform was intended it to be, because there is a lot of guesstimations, right? And you have to, otherwise you can't build something like that or a tool. But then you see how people do use it and how they act within the tech, and then you tweak it. But I think the biggest ones are, as always, is communication. Yeah. You have to remind people, and especially in our case, where you bring new people in, and then you have a big shebang, you kind of launch something, you communicate, you talk about all the pros with that and why people should be there. Then you bring new people in, and then they're not aware of it, they're trying to navigate, they're new to the company, there's so many other things that are really cool and popping. So you have to do that, right? You have to remind people of, this is the view, this is the philosophy, this is what we give and have, and kind of the relaunching of the smorgasbord that has to do with growth and development and learning. So I think it's communication that we're trying to get out as often as we can without getting, information overload.
right, exactly. Yeah, brilliant. And then you also mentioned, and we know that already, that you are data informed at Spotify, and obviously you would get quite a lot of good data points from Echo, I would assume. What do you do with those data points?
It's, as you mentioned, where we started to have the conversation, talent growth is important to us, and it's actually a team that is dedicated to that, with the assumption or the notion or just the bet that depending on if you get the right person to the right task, it will actually X something. If it's X8 or X50 or X500. And it's not always about the smartest person, right? It's about the team and the composition, but also the timing of talent, and somebody that is for sure would be able to do something. If they get that job too early, it could actually be a disaster in the sense that it might be a mini failure. And for the confidence and so on and so forth, it's not necessarily a smart thing. if you get it a bit too early, but and then you grow and you run with it, something happens, right? And you have that growth journey. You also have that notion around you, 360, like this is a really smart person. So try to not throw too complex things on people too early,
Right.
and for sure not too late.
Right.
Using all these data points, all the data sets and all the things that we bring in goes into that team and try to kind of coordinate what we call, and I think most companies call it succession planning, right? With the talent marketplace, which we call Echo, with a couple of other tools that we are now building ourselves, and also trying to see what we can do with the whole journey,
Right.
from getting people into the company when they are in the company, but also when they're exiting. So we really live up to the promise of trying to make sure that everybody is very, employable, and also that they can match their own skill sets and ambitions and what makes them thrive with the needs and the wants of the company.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Johanna, I'm paging Johanna now, as always.
Yeah, or Michaela.
Michaela, exactly.
That heads up that team within Johanna's department. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Michaela, we haven't had Michaela.
I don't think so.
So paging Michaela. Great. Thank you so much, Katarina, for sharing
Thank you.
how you echo, grow, and develop your talent on Spotify. Now, it's windy as always. Shall we wrap this session up? Do you remember the three things? It's always tricky with the three things.
Let me try. Stay safe, stay strong, stay active. I det medalje.
Gud! Helvete! Ja, precis. Vänta.
Do we have
Alltså
to?
jag vet inte vad som syns, för jag ser ut så här.
And then on the other side, obviously, all the internal market, or all the internal talent. Jag såg det. Jag tänkte jag bara fortsätter.
Och så fortsätter Katarina. Så jag bara,
Det händer någonting behind my
the
back.
show must go on.
Men jag vill inte vara här.
Du måste vara där.
Jag tycker att det är en jättekonstig vinkel.
Det blir jättedåligt ljus på dig annars.
Du vrider lite ditåt. Jag kan ju också stå så här.
Och det är inte varmt här uppe. Nej, så att, det är faktiskt inte varmt. Det är inte så varmt här. Känner jag nu. Men det är inte varmt. Nej.
Jo, det är 8 grader kanske. Embrace it.